G'day there guys, Marky here, and welcome back to another episode of r/Am I the Arsehole? With that said, I want you to sit back, relax, chuck a prawn to the Barbie, and let's get right into it. Am I the arsehole for ruining mine and my friend's joint gender reveal party? I, female 28, am currently 8 months pregnant with mine and my husband's, male 32, first child. And while we are over the moon, neither of us were ever super invested in the idea of throwing a gender reveal party. My sister, female 26, hosted a baby shower for me a couple of months ago, and I felt that that was more than enough. Recently, my best friend Amy, female 30, announced that she was 4 months pregnant, and she wanted the two of us to have a joint gender reveal since we could not do a joint baby shower. While I never planned on throwing a gender reveal, this was really important to Amy, and she really wanted us to share the experience. My husband and I had already told some people that we were expecting a little boy, but Amy wanted us to have the full experience, meaning that my husband and I would find out the gender in the same way as Amy and her husband, male 31, would find out the gender of their little e. Ultimately, we decided that this would work best if each couple cut into individual colored cakes. As I bake as a hobby, we decided that we could save some money and I could bake and decorate the cakes. We decided that my and my husband's cake would be a lemon cake dyed blue on the inside, but decorated with white icing and pink/blue sprinkles. Amy asked that her cake is decorated the same way, but she gave me creative control on flavors. At this point, I found out from Amy's doctor that she and her husband were expecting a little girl, so I thought that it would be a nice idea to do a red velvet cake, chocolate being her favorite flavor. I baked the cake in the same style as Christina Tozzi's famous birthday cake, and I was pretty thrilled with the outcome. Unfortunately, all did not go to plan. Amy and her husband and I and my husband cut our respective cakes at the same time, but Amy immediately burst into tears once she saw the inside of her cake. Unfortunately, the coloring that I had used was not very vibrant, and the red velvet cake was red, but kind of brownish too. You could definitely tell that it was red, but I think Amy was unhappy with the muddy color. Her husband immediately accused me of racism, considering that he's a person of color, while Amy, my husband, and I are all white. He said that I chose a muddy brown color to indicate that his daughter would be mixed. Reddit, that was absolutely not my intention, but Amy and her husband left very soon afterwards and have refused to talk to me. Amy's mum has said that I should be ashamed of ruining such a special moment that Amy had gone out of her way to share with me, and I have been messaged by some mutual friends telling me that Amy is worried that she will miscarry from the stress. Am I the asshole for ruining the gender reveal? Was I racist unintentionally? Edit to answer a common question, I had chosen red velvet because chocolate is Amy's favorite flavor, and I thought that it would be close enough to pink that no one would mind. When discussing flavors, she told me that she did not want a boring vanilla cake, which is also why we did lemon for mine. OP has offered the following explanation for why they think they might be the asshole. I may have been racially insensitive to Amy and her husband, and therefore ruined a special moment for them and their growing family. I'm gonna go with not the asshole for this one. I think that it wasn't a racist moment. I think that this was a mistake. I guess OP could have cut into the cake to be sure that it was the right color on the inside, but didn't. Sure, that's a mistake, but it wasn't a racist, ignorant choice. I'm going to give OP the benefit of the doubt here and just say that the couple, the friends that cut into that cake, I think they blew the situation out of the water. I genuinely don't think it's that deep. I don't understand why they are so upset. OP's not racist. Why would they be so willing to work with OP and trust them with this if they thought that OP was going to do something racist to them? Not the asshole OP. And now in the comments, I don't know what to vote, honestly. I think that gender reveal parties are more about social media likes and accidentally setting a forest on fire, or in the worst case scenario, killing grandma with a pipe bomb. Yes, they both happened. Then sharing news that isn't really big picture important, which makes them ridiculously stupid in my opinion. I'm having a difficult time wrapping my head around your color choices for Amy's cake. The cake is either pink or blue. I also think that gender colors are pretty dumb as well. I assume that the blue in your cake was a shade that left no confusion to the blue color nor the gender of your child. Why did you think that dark red would indicate that Amy was having a girl? You saw that the cake was dark red and nowhere near pink enough before you frosted it. Your cake was blue. Amy's cake was not pink. Pink or blue. While I think that Amy is a bit of a tool for wanting the party, I can understand her disappointment. As a person of color, I can also understand Amy's husband's thoughts and reactions to a cake that was dark red and brown and not pink or blue. I'm not accusing you of intentional or unintentional racism. Your post seems sincere. I believe that you weren't trying to ruin anybody's experience, but there are a few people who are hurt, confused, and offended because of what happened. Hopefully everyone involved can talk about their feelings and be heard. 50-50. Oh my god, you guys remember Harry Potter Puppet Pals? I found the source of the ticking! It was a pipe bomb! Yay! Anyway, back to OP's response. Thank you for taking the time to leave such a detailed comment. I really appreciate your perspective. I feel terrible that everything ended the way that it did. I genuinely thought that Amy would appreciate a chocolate-flavored cake, which is obviously quite difficult to make a soft pink color. I truly believed that red would be close enough to pink that it would not matter all that much. I agree with all the points that you make about gender reveals, which is why I was not too interested in hosting one myself. It was only when Amy was so excited that I thought that it would be a nice thing to do for her. I wanted her pregnancy experience to be everything that she wanted it to be. It kills me that I might have ruined that for her. I realize that I might have been a bit of an idiot when I chose the cake, but I never meant to be racially insensitive towards anyone. I have messaged and called Amy a few times, but I haven't heard anything back from her. I will update Reddit if and when I do. Not the asshole. So you agree to do something that you don't want to, are willing to pretend that you don't already know the gender, and make the cakes, but you can't make an explainable mistake? I'll give them the benefit of the doubt that it was the public nature and spur-of-the-moment stress that made such a strong reaction. Talk again in a couple of days, and hopefully, you guys can have a productive conversation and she will see your side. And now on to the update. So I didn't get much traction on my original post, but I did receive quite a few hateful messages saying that I was a racist asshole whose baby did not deserve to survive. When I posted on Reddit about the color of a gender reveal cake, I certainly did not expect that. That being said, I did receive a few comments on the post telling me that I should have gone with a traditional pink color and that Amy deserved an apology, which was fair enough. I did not want a gender reveal myself, but I had wanted to support Amy in any way that I could, and I realized that I screwed up. I genuinely believe that using red instead of pink would not have been a problem, but I should have asked the question rather than making a unilateral decision. I chatted to my husband this evening when he got home, and we decided that I would have to chat to Amy and offer throwing her a new gender reveal party, with a cake from a bakery, if that's what she would like. At the end of the day, it was never my intention to ruin this occasion for her. I had seen that she had tried to give me a call this afternoon, but I had missed it, which told me that she was open to a chat. Amy and her husband do not live very far away, so I invited them both for a drink this evening. Amy very graciously accepted, but she said that Greg would not be joining her. When she came around, my husband left us to it, and I wholeheartedly apologized for ruining the event for her and offered to organize another reveal if that is what she would like. Amy surprised me by saying that she was the one who owed me an apology, and that she should not have run out of the party like that. She said that she absolutely loved the red velvet idea, seeing as she loves chocolate cake. She said that she burst into tears in the moment because she was unhappy that the color was a bit brown and a bit red, but that she realizes now that she should have been grateful for, rather than critical of, my baking skills. At the end of the day, I am a hobby baker, and I make the cakes in my spare time. She said that she should have been appreciative of that. Amy also told me that she felt Greg's comments were out of line, considering that I have always been a good friend to the both of them, and that she said she felt it was an excuse for him to be upset. She told me that Greg has always found reasons to be upset and angry at her friends and her family, and she told me that they have been in marriage counseling because she feels that he's trying to isolate her from her social circle. Apparently, the baby was an accident, and Greg had pressured her to keep it, which she also told me probably contributed to the outburst at the gender reveal. She said that she has been under a lot of stress, and unfortunately, she channeled it towards the cake color, and by extension, me. As for Amy's mum, Amy told me that she did not realize her mum had blamed me for ruining the event, and said that she would speak to her. Amy does think that the flying monkeys that were warning me of a miscarriage were probably from Greg. Probably just to lay it on extra thick. As of right now, she said that she does not know what she will do, but I told her that I'll be there for her regardless of what happens. At the end of the day, both Amy and I had a few lessons to learn in this. I know that I will never make another gender reveal cake again, and I should not unilaterally make decisions on my friends' behalves. Even if it is coming from a good place, it does not mean that other people will always appreciate being blindsided. All in all, kind of a somber ending to a gender reveal story, but communication saved my friendship, and I appreciate the kind comments on Reddit for opening my eyes that I had been kind of an asshole. Lesson learned for everyone: if the baby is a girl, bake a pink cake. And now in the comments, please stay in touch with Amy. Her relationship sounds potentially dangerous, and she's going to need a friend. Also, I'm sorry, but I absolutely laughed my ass off at the original mistakes with the cakes. I would have been mortified myself. Oh boy, that's some top-tier subverted expectations. After reading the title, I was sure that the wrong colors meant blue instead of pink, or pink instead of blue. It was definitely a post with many layers. Like an onion? Onions have layers. Ogres have layers. Get out of my swamp. Who the hell harasses an 8 months pregnant woman into making 2 damn cakes so that you can have a damn party that the lady doesn't even want? Someone unhappily married to a toxic man. Someone who has no other friends on account of this same husband's manipulative tactics. Someone who just wants so desperately to have a friend and to share this experience that means a lot to her. Yeah, that really was a selfish thing of her to ask, but I'm really glad that OP was there for her. So much so that she went to lengths to communicate and to work things out. I tried to get too clever making my kid's birthday cake. Instead of red velvet, I went for blue velvet. For a 12-year-old girl, not Frank Booth. It ended up so muddy and awful looking, though tasty. Lesson learned after one attempt, and my kids still talk to me. OP probably should have slapped some pink frosting in the middle of that cake just to be safe. I hope that her friend is okay, but she is in therapy with her abuser. Good idea. A red cake would have been fine if the frosting between the layers was solid pink. Our next post is titled, My 25 male girlfriend's 25 female sex drive has completely disappeared. Pretty much the title. I'm very concerned about her at this point, and I have no idea what to do. Back in April-ish, we were having sex 2 to 3 times a day. We live in an apartment together, and she's been taking online classes for her master's, and I'm working from home since the lockdown started. At some point, she got really busy and tired with the project, so we obviously stopped having sex temporarily. Since it's gotten over though, which was nearly 4 months ago at this point, she's turned me down every time I've tried to initiate or set the mood for sex. I have never pressured her. I usually wait a couple of nights before asking again when she tells me that she's not in the mood, which turned into waiting a week, which turned into waiting 2 weeks. At this point, I'm really concerned. We've never gone anywhere near 4 months without sex before. We've both always had pretty high sex drives. At this point, it's important to note that I do not press the matter or pester or pressure her in any way. The moment she says that she's not in the mood, I back off immediately. I don't think I've screwed up anywhere because she's always quite apologetic when she turns me down. Our relationship is pretty much perfect in every other way too. We cuddle and hug and have game nights and movie nights. It's never felt like we're drifting apart at any point. She hasn't been behaving differently, like she's upset or depressed, and we give each other plenty of space too. It's not like we're constantly together. We have our own friend circles, and we curl up on our own devices from time to time. I've tried talking to her about it, but she gets really upset and keeps insisting that nothing is wrong. I drop the matter pretty quickly too, because I don't want her to feel like I'm pressuring her to have sex. I just want her to let me in and tell me what's wrong. I honestly don't care about the sex, but I know that there is something she's not telling me, and it's gone on long enough that I'm getting extremely worried about her. And now in the comments, quote, I've tried talking to her about it, but she gets really upset and keeps insisting that nothing is wrong. If I was in your place, I too wouldn't pressure her for sex, but I damn well would pressure her for an explanation. From 2 to 3 times a day to not at all for 4 months? I would need answers, even if she was upset at having the conversation. It's okay to want or not want things in a relationship, but not communicating is not okay. And OP says, thanks for the response. I don't want her to feel pressured or accused of anything, but I do want an explanation. Do you have any advice on how I can be sort of firm, but also make her feel comfortable at the same time? Honestly, if it's not something that she wants to discuss, she's not going to do it calmly and rationally. She's going to get upset and try to skirt the issue. I would prepare for the fight and dig out why this is happening. She's gotten away with it for so long because it sounds like you love her, and that gives her the ability to dictate terms. If you can live with no sex and no explanation forever to be with her, more power to you. Otherwise, figure it out sooner rather than later. I'm a woman who went from high libido to very low libido, and let me tell you, I don't know why. I'm thinking about it, I'm trying to figure it out, I feel bad for my boyfriend, I have a lot of mental health issues, so I think that might be why, and I'm looking for a therapist to talk about it. You can push for an answer, but unfortunately, there just might not be one yet. Honestly, while I was reading through it, I thought, he just needs to have a good conversation with her about it, but then you said that she refuses to talk about it. Just asking, is there any possibility that you brought up the topic in a way that felt uncomfortable to her? It's the only thing I can think of. I mean, if your sexual activity changed that much, it's impossible for her not to notice it. If you are 100% honest with your writing, I would be worried in your place too, because the first thing that comes to mind is some kind of traumatic experience. I would say just try to keep calm, and if she really doesn't like you bringing up the subject, just keep giving her the space to talk about things without necessarily asking directly. Hope everything is okay, friend. Cheers. And OP says, I keep worrying about a traumatic experience too. But what? We almost never leave home because of the pandemic. One of us occasionally goes to get groceries, but that's about it. I am honestly at a loss, and she's not talking to me about it. And now on to the update. Thanks to everyone who replied to my previous post. There were some mixed responses, with some people suggesting that I insist on addressing it with her because she's hiding something, and with others recommending that I give her time to open up on her own. Ultimately, I decided to sort of go for a combo of the two. Friday, when we were both done with work, we sat down and had a discussion. I told her that I could give her the space and time she needed till she was ready to talk to me about it, but I couldn't leave it unaddressed. She needed to acknowledge that there at least was something that she didn't feel ready to tell me, and that was fine. But she at least needed to acknowledge its existence. If only so I stopped feeling like I was going crazy. She started sobbing when I was done, and then she started explaining everything. Some background that I didn't mention in my previous post, because it didn't really seem relevant, is that my girlfriend has PCOD. One of the consequences of this is that she finds it very difficult to lose weight, and has been insecure about her body for most of her life. About a year ago, completely of her own choice, I've always told her that she's beautiful to me no matter what her weight. She resolved to start losing weight, both for her mental health and to feel better about her body. She started going to the gym a couple of times a week, and I was supportive and also cut out all of my own junk food consumption in solidarity. Since the lockdown started and the gyms shut, apparently she started slowly gaining some weight back due to stress eating and lack of exercise. I'm ashamed to say that I did not even notice that she was torturing herself over her weight all this while. She admitted that she stopped having sex because she was terrified that I would stop finding her attractive after seeing her naked. I reassured her that I think that she's gorgeous and attractive no matter what, and I tell her this every day. But she was afraid that that would have changed once I saw the weight she had put on. The rest of the conversation consisted of me reassuring her that she is beautiful, and her appreciating but not really believing me. After a bit, she asked me to change the topic, and I reluctantly agreed. We had a fairly quiet dinner. She was a little sad and relieved at the same time at having told me, I think, and I was busy scheming. The next morning before work, I told her she looked lovely again, and she gave me a wan smile, like she appreciated it but didn't really believe me. But that was okay. I was gonna convince her. I asked her to pick up the groceries that evening because I was gonna have a meeting run late. The moment she left home, I got to work. I dug out some fairy lights and a bunch of candles from storage, and I started setting them up in the living room. I made a couple of playlists and I charged the speaker, snuck down to the florist, and I bought a giant bouquet. For some more background, I hate dancing because I suck massively at it, while my girlfriend loves it. She used to go dancing every month or two with her girlfriends before lockdown. I would join in sometimes because it was worth how happy it made her, but she definitely missed it way more than me. So when she got back, naturally, I greeted her with what were probably the most ridiculous dance moves in the history of mankind. I'm not gonna lie, folks, she laughed. She laughed a lot. She took a short video, and we both laughed while watching it later. My movement resembled a 5-year-old practicing kung fu more than it resembled dancing, and I had stuck a rose in my ear for maximum ridiculousness. Totally worth it though. I have no idea how she ever thought that she's ugly. Her smile is just so frickin' radiant. We danced like idiots for a while before I switched to the slow dance playlist. It was definitely the happiest I'd seen her in a long time. I had been a bad boyfriend and somehow missed how much she missed everything. I should have done it months ago. I told her all of this. I told her that she's the most beautiful woman in my eyes and always will be. And yeah, we had sex. Last night, it was all about her. She needed to feel special, and I had been missing that for too long. I offered to make dance nights a weekly thing afterwards, kind of as a substitute for the workouts that she's been missing, if she wants. She tore up a little. She knows how much I hate dancing, and she told me that that wasn't necessary. Apparently sex is just as much of a workout as dancing, and we have a lot of missed workouts to catch up on. I'm certainly not complaining. In all seriousness though, I'm gonna dip into my savings a little and order a home treadmill. She can't afford one right now because of college bills, so I'll surprise her with it. Thank you to everyone who helped me out with their advice. And edit, oh wow, I'm completely overwhelmed by the outpouring of love and support here. Thanks for all the awards. I just logged back into this account, but I promise I'm going to read each of the replies. One thing I saw pop up a couple of times that I just want to reassure you guys about is she has mentioned wanting a treadmill, but not being able to afford one several times in the past, so I know she wants one. However, I figured that it's dumb to take the chance, and one surprise was good enough. And if there's anything this whole experience has taught me, it's the importance of communication. So I'm going to bring it up at dinner tonight that I comfortably have enough saved up to purchase a home workout machine. Since I saw cycles and ellipticals being mentioned, we'll figure out which one we want, and that I'd love to buy one for our home for the both of us to use. Thank you all so much once again for your advice. Edit 2, RIP me. The comments are coming faster than I can read them now. There's no way for me to reply to every one of them, unfortunately. There's a lot of fantastic suggestions for diets, exercise machines, dance classes, and everything in between. So thank you so much for all of them. She has a great endocrinologist whose advice she will ultimately be following, but there are some great points to bring up with him. It is really touching and overwhelming to see all this support. Thank you all so much. And final edit, She loved the idea of getting some equipment to do our own workouts at home together. So we're going to sit down and do our research tonight before picking the one that we like most. We've gotten some fantastic advice here, and we'll be looking at ellipticals, bikes, rowing machines, Just Dance on the Switch, and a bunch of other stuff that you guys suggested. To all of the people who commented to insist that she's cheating on me because I'm a simp, thank you for setting the exemplary standard for being macho. Insulting strangers online is so delightfully masculine. The lovely folks who told me to dump her because she's fat get the disappointing but not unexpected shitheads shout out as well. For the overwhelming majority of people though, I am just breathtaken by the kind and supportive comments that we have gotten. Thank you for the treasure trove of advice and life pro tips, and all the love. You folks are amazing. And a follow-up 2 years later, which is 4 days ago, OP says, "Hi, I'm the OP from this post, and imagine my surprise seeing something that I had posted 2 years ago show up while I'm browsing Reddit secretly at work. I'm glad I had saved this throwaway's password because there is no way that I was remembering it otherwise. My fiancée, then girlfriend, and I are doing great. I proposed to her a few months ago, and she said yes. We aren't in any rush to plan a wedding though. We're just enjoying our best lives as an engaged couple for now. Thank you so much for all of your validation and support, and best wishes to all of you." And in the comments in reply to that, "This entire thread was just what I needed on a grumpy Monday morning to cheer me up. Thank you for being so wonderfully hilarious, and congratulations on your engagement, you wonderful human." Congrats, I love hearing this. Is she feeling better about her insecurities now in the 2 years that have passed? And OP replies, "Thank you. She is doing significantly better now. She started therapy shortly after my post, and while she still has occasional bouts of low esteem, there is nothing near the scale of what happened in the build-up to my original post. My boyfriend calls that stinking thinking. He tells me to stop entertaining those stinky thoughts. It works for us. You can't control every thought in your head. Some thoughts aren't worth dwelling on. You rock, keep it up." And OP says, "Oh wow, I love that. I am definitely stealing it. Thank you. You and your boyfriend sound awesome." And that's where I'm going to end today's episode, guys. I do hope you enjoyed. If you did, let me know what you thought about it, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.